So, but you know what? We also like to get a little bit of headlines.
Yeah, I love our headlines.
Joe, what you got for us today?
Got some good inspiration happening right now. You know, school isn't in session like anywhere. It's all online. They're still teaching, learning, and things like that. But I like some teachers with some passion, all right?
Yes.
And that was the case up in South Dakota because old Riley Carlson was a 12-year-old student struggling with algebra, just like I did. Maybe you guys did as well.
Hated algebra.
Emailed the teacher a few times. Teacher could tell that she's not getting it, so that's him behind that door. He showed up to her house with a whiteboard and did the lesson in person through a door to keep the distance and everything else. And they could hear each other, you know, there was the whole talking back and forth and whether she understood it or not. And how do you like that?
I like it.
It's a great
and
move,
I still
right?
have the question, what do we use algebra for? Who uses it?
I have a friend who's an algebra
Lisa does.
and he says, you know, you use it in your everyday life, you just don't know it. And
Oh,
it's
really?
like, that's an easy excuse.
Okay.
Give me an example.
I hated algebra, but did really well in geometry.
Ah, I bet
Which
you
is
did.
kind of why I'm pretty good at like building decks and stuff, because
Right.
you have to use geometry when you're figuring out angles for decks and make sure it's square.
Exactly.
Time, yeah.
It's all about, I think, people's brains and how they learn.
Absolutely.
Because some things could click for Joe that don't click for me, and vice
Right.
versa.
That's so true.
That that teacher's been teaching for 27 years, though, too. I like the passion that he still has to
You
help
know
the
what?
students out.
Those are the best teachers.
Yeah.
The ones that are just doing it because they love it and they care about the kids and how they learn.
That's what struck me more than anything else,
Yeah.
that he's been doing it almost 3 decades and still is thinking, when one person has some trouble, you know what, I'll just go over there and help
I
out.
love
And
it.
I bet both of you could name the most influential teacher in your lives. You can remember back to like whatever, 2nd grade or
Yeah.
12th grade,
Oh, yeah.
and talk about that teacher that really made an impact for you guys.
Oh,
Mr.
totally.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mr.
Right
Jenkins,
there.
who was it, Cal?
Oh, we got to wrap. I got to think.
Miss Jackson, 4th grade.
Miss
See,
Jackson.
I know right off the top of my head. Don't even need
All
to
right.
think.
Well, we got to talk a little Joe Exotic. Cover the ears for some spoilers right now. But hey, you know Joe Exotic, right?
I have a meme after I've been photoshopped into his face.
You've been memed into
Yes.
the Tiger King himself. 42 of the Tiger King's animals, though, now actually live in a safe place that they were. You know what happened with the zoo
Yes,
guys, right?
yes,
we
yes,
all know
yes.
what went down there. They are being cared for at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside of Denver, Colorado. The facility cares for 39 tigers and 3 bears that once belonged to old Joe Exotic right there. So staff says most of those animals arrived with health problems, and most are getting treated and getting healthier. So this is good.
That is good to hear.
Yeah.
I wonder how they got there. Like, I wonder when and how, because you know that documentary is from the past few years shooting it. So
And there's been a lot of talk about that. Like, you know, Branson is mentioned briefly in there.
It is. Yes, it
but
is.
But no one is, the folks in Branson and other places, they don't really comment on how or when they receive animals. They just, it's just understood that they got them. So
And
that's a big undertaking, though, to get 42
toward the end of the
animals.
documentary, you know, the other guy, and he's building his own.
Yeah,
I thought he was taking all the
we thought all
tigers
that
there.
as well, but that did not happen. But as maybe that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because I don't think
it
that
is.
guy was painted in the best light either.
But I don't think people should be allowed to have exotic pets. I don't.
It's dangerous.
I don't think they
It is
should.
dangerous, yeah. And I believe that those tigers were born not in the wild, so
Right.
maybe you keep them there.
I don't think they can survive in the wild.
That's my
anymore.
thought process
Right.
there. So, but hey, they're outside of Denver, doing all right, living the Colorado life.
Well, thanks,
Joe.
Joe.
Yeah.
All right.